What's up everyone, back with another video as promised. I was going to try and pump some videos out. There's a lot of stuff I would like to catch up on, but yeah, today's video is going to be my Tigershovlenose. I am going to move him today to my 125. This is a 75 gallon with he's in here with my Florida gar, my gold clown knife, and off to the side here my albino clown knife. The clown knives are getting pretty big. The albino is probably ready to get out of this tank soon, but for now I'm just going to move the Tigershovlenose. And as like I said, I'm going to be pumping out videos, so pretty soon there will be another update on the 240 stand. I actually have a piece of acrylic that I'm going to either shave in the shavings or pack that little crack or chip full of, like, I'm going to sand it down into almost powder and then use the weld-on 4 to hopefully permanently fix that tank. I'm not saying it would cause a problem, I would just rather be safe than sorry. But like I said, here we are. It's time for the Tigershovlenose to get out of this tank. So over on the side of this tank there is a I actually bought these dual 75s. The top tank has been replaced with a different one, but both of these tanks, when I got it, the guy I got them from actually drilled holes to do these for water changes with a little PVC elbow, so that way you can kind of control about 3 inches of water level where you want the tank to fully drain down to, so you can just start draining and walk away. But I don't really use it too often, but luckily today, to move that Tigershovlenose, this will come in handy. So I'm just going to fill this up a little bit just so the fish has some room to swim around in here. And also this tank needs a water change again already. It's been about 5 days, which is another reason why I'd like to move him, just so I don't have to change water as much on this tank. But all these fish in here are very, very heavy eaters. So I'll come back when this gets some water in it. Alright, so this big container's full now. Well, not full, but as much water as I'd like to have in it so I can still carry it decently well. I also forgot to mention that I have another reason I would like to get this fish out of this tank, and why I'm moving him is because this gar, I mean, it is growing and whatnot, but all these other fish in this tank are very aggressive eaters, where the gar, I have to kind of drop a piece of tilapia in for him slowly and let it kind of slowly sink just in front of his field of view so he can go up and get that. But even sometimes when some of the pieces are on the bottom on the sand there, the Tigershovlenose and usually the albino clown knife, the gold one isn't too aggressive, but the Catfish and the albino clown knife will actually try and take the piece of food that the gar has in his mouth out of it to eat it. This Tigershovlenose is way more aggressive. Well, my old Catfish, the hybrid, the Tigershovlenose hybrid red tail, that one was not aggressive at all. That one would actually eat out of my hand. But this Tigershovlenose is super aggressive. When there's like a pile of krill pellets I have for him that'll be on the ground or the bottom of the tank, he will actually just sit there and kind of stare at it, and then out of nowhere just fully lunge at it. And sometimes he actually does hit the gar, because the gar likes to sit at the bottom a lot. But it's enough about the fish. I have a feeling I'm gonna get super wet doing this today, but that's alright. So here's my probably gonna be a failed attempt at trying to get this fish out of this tank. So I do have a combination of nets. This bigger one is made of rubber, so that's what I bought this to transport my arowana, and when I had it, and the hybrid Tigershovlenose red tail. And I also have this bigger small net. It didn't make sense, but I'm gonna use this smaller one to kind of guide him into the bigger one, because this big one is probably, if I remember right, it barely fits in these 75s, but hopefully someone gets a laugh out of this. I'm sure I'll regret it later. Oh, that wasn't not as bad as I was anticipating. I am kind of wet, but just seeing this fish in this big container definitely looks a lot bigger than it did in the tank. I don't even know how big this fish is. I would say probably 10, 12 inches. That's about the size I let my hybrid get before I moved it, but I'm gonna go carry this into the other room with the 125 and let him acclimate for a little bit. Alright, so there we go. I did put a battery powered air pump in there. Also, I got that going, the drip acclimation going. I kind of have it going a little fast, but most of these tanks down here are all about the same temperature. I would say all within 2 degrees. So I'm gonna let this guy sit here and acclimate. He is breathing a little heavy. I've seen him breathe a lot heavier though when I clean the tank and drain it. The tank he was in, when I drain it down almost to where that white elbow is, and whenever it gets that low, I don't know if there's a pressure change or what, but this fish will start freaking out. And it concerns me with that gar because I don't want him to break his snout. But let this guy acclimate for a little bit and come back for some more embarrassing fish moving. Alright, so it has been about 40-45 minutes. This thing is about halfway, close to halfway filled up now. I'm gonna say that that's good enough. So let's get this guy into this big tank. Alright, so here goes nothing. I did remove the center section, the center cover. Alright, so the fish is now in there. I did turn the light off so there's not as much glare. And if some of you may remember, I did used to have a 72-inch LED light, but the little transformer box actually started taking a crap and it would start just randomly like strobing. So it was like a dance party down in here, and I'm sure it was causing the fish some stress. I will feed these Oscars. They're looking a little curious. They're not very aggressive unless towards each other. But I have noticed since I did put this big clown knife in here that now that he's doing well and acclimated and not getting picked on by my smaller Royal clown knife that I moved to a tank at my dad's, this guy is actually very aggressive now. And he has been taking a few chunks out of the Oscars. I don't know if you see that red Oscar's tail just twitching. But that's why I'm gonna start cracking down and getting down on the 240 to get that finished, because I don't know if it's because the tank's too small, which I'm sure, that this guy is actually just very aggressive, or maybe he's just very aggressive in general. But there you can see some of the chunks he's taken out of the Oscars. And if anyone knows what this red dot on this Oscar's lip is, please let me know, because I would like to get that taken care of. I think it's just from the fish digging around in the gravel, and it may be infected now or something. But if you have any info on that, I'd appreciate that. But here's the tiger shovelnose swimming around. He looks tiny in this tank now, even though just in that bucket and in the 75 he looked big, but he looked small. But now after being in this tank, he looks pretty small. But seeing him next to this clown knife was almost identical in length to my old hybrid tiger shovelnose red tail, and I can confidently say that I think this clown knife's around 24-25 inches. So I'm going to take back what I said about this tiger shovelnose. I don't know, he's probably close to 14-15 inches maybe. But either way, he's in there now, he's swimming around, curious. I'm going to get the 75 in this tank filled back up, and I'll check back in a while just to see how this fish is doing. So I'll talk to you then. Alrighty, so it has been about 9 hours now, and so far it looks like the catfish is doing good. I'm going to try and throw some tilapia pieces in there. I did wait 3 days. The catfish hasn't eaten for 3 days. I wanted to make sure he was purged before I put him in here. So I'm gonna feed this clown knife first, because he's an aggressive eater and he'll just steal it anywhere. Yep. Try and throw some over here. And of course, just as I expected, I'm gonna have to rip up some more pieces. Does not look like the catfish is gonna eat right now. Actually, 1 second. I'm gonna go get some of the krill pellets this guy likes. Alright, so here's a handful of krill pellets. I'm gonna try and get him right by his mouth. See if he'll eat. Alright. Apparently he's not gonna eat now. Oh well. Just getting used to the new tank. Alright, that is going to be it for this video, finally. It's been all day recording this. Well, that was fun, I guess. But don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. And I'll see you in the next one.